Hello everyone, this is Sujoy Datta. I help mentor students for the GMAT and other exams like this GRE, the SAT and the CAT. Here I am talking about the recent changes that the GMAT has implemented, aka the Focus Edition. So on the first slide, what I have is the test structure. So if you look at the comparison, the questions that are there in quantitative reasoning have been reduced to 21 from 31 questions. Similarly, for verbal reasoning, from 36, it has come down to 23. Integrated reasoning is now called data insights. It has 20 questions. And each of the sections now are of 45 minutes. There is no longer the assessment analytical writing section. Okay, there is no essay. That's the good news. And each section is 45 minutes. That makes the test much shorter than what it was by almost 1 hour. Now, if you look at the specifics of the sections, the quantitative reasoning section does not have any data sufficiency questions anymore. It only has problem solving. Remember the questions with question stem followed by 5 numeric or variable based answer choices. So those types problem solving questions. And the good thing is you don't need to study geometry anymore. The geometry has been scrapped. Similarly, in verbal reasoning, sentence correction has been scrapped. So those of you who had got the jitters when you come across grammar and all that stuff, you don't need to worry. You just focus on logic and reasoning. So you only have reading comprehension and critical reasoning. 23 questions, 45 minutes. Now, the data insights, that's the new section that we are calling it, is basically a combination of the integrated reasoning section, which was there earlier, and the data sufficiency questions of the quantitative reasoning section. So the DS questions, the data sufficiency questions, and the integrated reasoning questions clubbed together now have 20 questions to be answered in 45 minutes. Again, when you're looking at DS questions, since they're based on the quantitative section, you do not have geometry-based DS questions as well. Those of you initially in the previous version thought that, okay, we can go away with, we can do away with the integrated reasoning sections, not so important. Now you have to study for that. You have to prepare for that because that's going to be now a scored section. As you can see, the scoring earlier was out of 800 for the quant and verbal combined. IR and AWA were scored separately. Now, there is no AWA, no essay. The 3 sections combined will be scored out of 805. The difference of 5 is basically, according to the GMAT, is to differentiate students who have taken the earlier version and those who have taken the newer Focus Edition version. Now, why do they need to make that differentiation? We'll come to that very soon. So this is the difference in the test structure. Now, if I go to the scoring, so for the Focus Edition Quant section, as you can see, the scores are, in fact, for all the 3 sections, the scores are 60 to 90 range. Earlier, it was from 6 to 51. That's been changed. It's now from 60 to 90 range. And in the Quant section, if you get a score of 90, you get a 100 percentile. If you get a score of 85, you get 89 percentile. So that means a lot of those scores in between are at the 100 percentile or roundabout 89 to 100 percentile range. Now, if you look at a comparison with the previous version, a score of 51 was 97 percentile and 50 became 87 percentile. So roughly we can say that as of now, because this is a percentile based system, so that would keep changing. So 51 score in the old format is equivalent to a 90 score in the new format, almost. Similarly, a 50 in the old format is almost a 85 in the new format, and so on. So you can have a good comparison. So like 66 percentile is at 80. So 65 percentile, which is kind of close, is at 48. So that's the equivalence. And that is why the GMAT wants to ensure that there is no confusion between which test has been taken. Is it the old version or is it the new version? If you look at the verbal section, 100 percentile comes at 90. Earlier, from 45 to 51, that entire range of scores was at 99 percentile. 43 and 44 were at 98 percentile. Here, 96 percentile is at 85 marks in the focus edition format. If you go a bit down, you can see that around 60 percentile is at 80. Here, around 59 percentile is at 31, right? So this is the equivalence. So if someone has written the GMAT focus edition and got verbal scores which are in the range of 40s or 38s, which is like given 60 to 90 range. I mean, I'm sorry, in the old version has got 40, which was out of 6 to 51 as a 90 percentile, will be somewhere in the range of 80 to 85 score in the new focus edition version, which will also fetch him around 90%. Okay. The data insights percentiles are also given. So a score of 90 obviously will fetch 100 percentile. 85 is at 99 percentile and so on. So this you can use as your reference. If you look at the overall scores, so the overall scoring is like this. 805 is at 100 percentile. Obviously earlier 800 was at 99. There was no 100 percentile because there were too many test takers, right? So 100 percentile was virtually impossible. I mean, too many test takers accumulated over a period of 5 years in that sense. So here we can still have a 100 percentile because it's basically a rounded up. You cannot have exactly have a 100 percentile, right? So it's like very close to 100, so they rounded it up to 100. 755, if you can look at it, it's almost 50 points down. Okay, it's still at 100 percentile. Here, earlier it was 750 and 98 percentile. And here, from now on, the differences become pretty big. So 705 is 99 percentile. Here, 710 is at 90 percentile. So almost 10 percentile points difference. If you go a bit down to get a 50 percentile score, you had to get 600 in the old version. Now, to have a 53, you need to have 555. So if you have got a 700 and you are feeling down that, okay, I did not get that well, be happy, be satisfied that, okay, 705 is at 99 percentile, which earlier was 760 to 800. So the scores are different, the scoring is different. And that is why, as I said, the GMAT wants to ensure that this guy has taken the new version. And that is why all the scores end in a 5, while someone has taken the old version and all the scores end in a 0. So I hope I was clear with the different aspects of the new GMAT Focus Edition. Thanks for watching.